The issues that we will present today, which have been subject of a research by two experts, show that the country is really in a conundrum. The theme of succession is an extremely serious issue for Zimbabwe, primarily because there is no precedence for the succession at the level of the presidents. We have only seen succession with regards the vice presidents. Why are we focusing on Zanu PF in this publication? Since July 2013, the governance architecture in this country has been largely dominated by Zanu PF. It is no secret that Zanu PF won over 76% control of the local government elections, and in fact, in the National Assembly and in the Senate, they are actually in the majority. So because of that, their fortunes are also tied with the fortunes of the state. You will see that there is a predominant concentration on the person of His Excellency President Mugabe, obviously because he's the president, but more importantly, because of his advanced age. Three scenarios are the possible transitional outcomes. If President Mugabe were to leave office today, either by his own volition or if nature takes its course. The first one is a precluded transition, secondly is a block transition, and thirdly is a democratic transition. In a democratic transition, the rules of the game as enshrined in the party and national constitution would be followed. So we all know that the constitution attempts to make, to deal with the issue of succession politics, although some of the clauses have been postponed for the next 10 years. And also Zanu PF has its own constitution. So in a way, there might be some kind of a direction within which how this should turn itself. If President Mugabe were to be absent today, based on Zanu PF following his constitution and the national constitution, the section 101, which clearly articulates the route towards this transition, this would obviously favor the Mujuru camp, because it says very clearly that the person who was last to act as the president would take over from the office of the president. So if that were to happen today, she would clearly be in line to take over for the next 90 days, after which the party will then sit down and choose a successor. However, at the end of the 90-day period, as we have seen that the succession politics is not smooth sailing, the Mnangagwa faction may insist that while the vice president has taken over and has led the country, Zanu PF, for 90 days, from day 91, it's no longer the national constitution that takes precedence. So it is the politics of Zanu PF that will then take precedence. And we posit that the Mnangagwa camp may then insist that democracy prevails, or that the party must then sit down and choose a successor rather than having it obvious that since Mami Jure is late for 90 days, then she should then take over and finish the entire term. So while that is a possibility, again you can see that there are challenges around what we would call a democratic transition. The second scenario is a precluded transition. This is signified by flouting of the constitution, chaos, conflict, and in fact, a risk of bloodshed. So this is where the president, by virtue of accident or by nature taking his course, has left office and chaos ensures. So this is a precluded transition. So we would see the flouting of the constitution where Zanu PF refuses, or the hardliners Zanu PF refuse to follow or toe the line of the constitution, and in fact want to put their own successor. Now this is unsustainable, considering that in SADC we have a very weak history around military coups, and so SADC is unlikely to support such a scenario. Obviously this will have national and regional, this will cause national and regional instability. Democratic space will be curtailed. The Mujuru faction would obviously be sidelined, and the Mnangagwa faction is likely to benefit from a precluded transition. The military and the security apparatus are likely to use their power and may direct or will be in charge of such kind of a transition. We know very well that in 2008, it is well written that Mnangagwa chaired the Joint Operations Command during a very difficult time. So he is a trusted ally of the president during difficult moments. And the military also trusts, has been found by our researchers. He's also trusted by, Mnangagwa is also trusted by the military. So they are likely to benefit from such a scenario. Juru is seen as a reformist. And as we have seen, in the past few weeks, she's being pushed out of the picture, primarily because of perceived links with Americans, the West, and so forth. Now, the last scenario is an oligarchic transition. In an oligarchic transition, there will be an appointment of a preferred successor, where President Mugabe appoints a preferred successor or nominates a preferred successor. And we've seen that in the past years, in fact, the president has played the Mujuru and the Mnangagwa factions against each other. And some researchers point to the fact that that has been a result of the fact that Mugabe actually does not believe in the two faction leaders and in fact will appoint a preferred successor. One of those people who has been noted is Comrade Gono, former RBZ governor. Sometime this year, the Gono complained that there was a media embargo as a result of the Ministry of Information, and the president severely complained about it. And some people say that was a slight indication that perhaps Gono may be a preferred successor. But other scholars also posit that while Gono may seem to be a preferred successor, he is in fact a political lightweight and is very, very unlikely to take over or to be nominated by the president. Another contender is Siti Segramai, who by virtue of the Zulu lineage is seen as a possible compromise. He is seen as acceptable to both factions and may well be a preferred successor for the president. Now, this publication was researched over the last 1 year, and while those three scenarios were being developed, another scenario also entered the frame, and so we had to go back and re-look at the book, and this is the Grace Mugabe scenario. The Grace scenario is seen as a perpetuation of Mugabe's one-party state and life president's vision. We all know that sometime in 1989, the president moved swiftly to try and entrench a one-party state in Zimbabwe, whose agenda failed. But that vision did not die with that failure. So Grace is seen as a possible reincarnation of the life presidency or the one-party state agenda of 1989. But also, the Grace ascent may be seen as an attempt to protect the Mugabe family interests, the children and the cousins, should the president leave. Someone has actually said that Mugabe may actually be more powerful in his death, that the Politburo may meet and ask if Mugabe was here, what would he have done? And so he will rise to the mold of Ambuya Nehanga. And so he will be seen as a spirit medium within Zanu PF. And a lot of mirrors will be made in his honor, and decisions will be made in his name. So he will be strong and more powerful in his day. In conclusion, I would like to say that our ideal scenario as Crisis Coalition is a peaceful transition. However, that will depend largely on the politics of the day.
The scenarios that are painted here, I believe, are irrelevant. They are misplaced both in time and space. They are misplaced in location, because we're 1 year into the 5-year term of the 89-year-old that was voted into power and 4 years away from the next election. It is mischief that is supported by electoral cowards. People who want to steal 4 years away from President Mugabe's term of office. The Zanu PF Congress has got an agenda, has got a theme, and the theme is accelerated implementation of the Zimbabwe agenda for sustainable socio-economic transformation. That is what the Congress is about. In 2005, Zanu PF got a constitutional majority. As Zanu PF, we had the power in Parliament to amend the Constitution. Within 36 months, we'd thrown that constitutional majority to a parliamentary minority. Primarily because of factionalism. As a political party, in 2008, we had to go into an accommodation with the MDC formations and establish an all-inclusive government. But the root causes of what I've referred to in my articles as the Mababo phenomena were never addressed. And that was not because we didn't know, but that was because as Zanu PF, we chose not to address them at that point in time. We chose as a political party to go through the 4 years of the inclusive government. We also chose as a political party to focus on strengthening ourselves so that we go to an election in 2013. And we went to that election in 2013. But we had not forgotten that there were elements within the Zanu PF that betrayed Zanu PF. We did not forget that. We were also alive to the fact that we were going to a Congress in 2014. So it became necessary for us as Zanu PF to have to deal with those divisive elements. So the processes that we're going through as a political party, as Zanu PF, are the necessary processes of realignment. They are not processes of succession. They are processes of realigning ourselves as a political party to make sure that we're able to deliver on the mandate that we went to the electorate on. I am telling you this as an active participant in that, because this is what I am doing and this is what I believe I am doing. We are going through processes of corrective alignment in terms of those of our friends that remained entrenched within Zanu PF as part of the Mama project. They are going. You just basically assume that the democratic transition means Joe is Jew. That's what you just assumed. It's just an assumption. The democratic transition means Joe is Jew. You've forgotten totally about the processes and constitution of Zanu PF. The First Lady has actually done something which was very, very different and totally alien to Zanu PF culture, which was Zanu PF did not criticize any of its leaders. Takanga tapopinda mukasystem bekuti mvu as long as muna appointwa na president kumukriticize and kukriticize president. Sekuru Sifas Msimba mentioned it this week. No, you cannot criticize Vice President Mujuru because she was appointed by the president. Is that the type of nation that we want? No, I don't think so. If I'm a minister, I've been appointed as chairman of Matowe, Majaje, Mapichi, Simango, at the Forest Commission. But if I fail to discharge, then I should be criticized, not criticized president. And that is one of the most fundamental issues that we should really be looking at in the absence of a viable opposition. In the absence of a viable opposition, we must have from within the Zanu PF the ability to criticize from within. You know, when we started this year, pakabuda mamwe ma stories of corruption akanga penga. And Vice President would say that I'm corruption. It doesn't put a commander. Kanamunaka, Mr. Market, not in the name of Zanu PF. There's something else that, guys, you missed in terms of what the First Lady said. Before she even started saying anything about Mamju, the first person she criticized was the president. What she actually said was that Vamugabe Mukaregeza kuita baby dumping. Baby dumping. That's what she said. And that was a very, very strong criticism. It is that's wrong. Mugabe cannot choose a successor. The person that must lead Zimbabwe must be chosen by the people of Zimbabwe, and that is a fundamental tenet of democracy. It is not up to Robert Mugabe to choose who must lead the people of Zimbabwe. It is up to you to choose who must lead the people of Zimbabwe. So please don't continue asking Mugabe to break that fundamental tenet of democracy. I am not a factionalist. I subscribe to one person, and that one person is Robert Mugabe within Zanu PF at this point in time. I know what happened in 2004, and I know Udwa Mnangagwa had gotten the support of 7 of the provinces, but he was able to have sufficient discipline to be able to say, okay, fine, this is what the party has been able to do. There were some, like Banana Daniel Shumba, who went out to try and establish a political party. There were some like Jonathan Moyo who stood as an independent. That is a fact. They did that. But one thing that you want to be able to recognize about what Emerson Mnangagwa did is that he is the one who wrote the amendment of the constitution to allow for a female vice president. Why are we dealing about the remnants of Mavambo? It is a strategic decision on our part as Zanu PF. We chose when to deal with them, and it would not have been tactful and strategic to deal with them when we were in the inclusive government. It would have been foolish. It would have been stupid and idiotic to do that. We needed to make sure that we got back our position of power to be able to deal with them. You don't go to an operation Mukoma when you cannot with the flu. Operation of visa cancer.